growing cucumbers in aquaponics. Look at this. This is like 7 weeks after I planted them out, and I've already harvested about 6 cucumbers that are really... So I thought I'd give you a little bit of information about some cucumbers and how to grow them successfully within aquaponics. One, they need full sun. So they are getting all of my afternoon sun, good 6 hours. And because they are in really hot temperatures, that means we need to make sure they've got lots of water. Cucumbers are mostly water. So we can see doing doing super duper well. And wanting to show you that we need to have one, they need the full sun. They also need to have stakes, because you can see that that's growing super high and it's also coming down. And if we move over here, you'll see the blue drum is my grow bed, and I've got them running down as well. So they're not only going vertically, nice big wall of cucumber leaves, but they are also going down too. So giving them lots and lots of room to grow in the full sun. And what we can see here, I'm going to take you around the back in a sec, what we can see is lots and lots of flowers there. So we've got both male and female flowers and the fruit. So I shall take you around there and show you, because this is super awesome, because they are fruiting like crazy now. Constant water, constant fertilizer and full sun. So around the back, what we can see is I've got my little fish tank, and the water pumps up the pipe here and it comes into a mechanical filter, so which I need to clean today, which collects a lot of the solid waste. And then all of this stuff is the grow bed media. So it acts as two things. One, it is the home for the nitrifying bacteria, so the good bacteria that converts the ammonia from fish waste into fertilizer for the veggies. And it's also some root structure, root stability for the cucumber plant. So that is the grow bed. The water filters through the grow bed. Then that PVC pipe, it drains out of that and it comes down back into here. Now this is a real simple little system. I've used 2 drums, both fully recycled. Check out the description to find some more information about aquaponics and how you can move forward and get this happening. And when we come in here and we have a little look, you can see lots and lots of cucumbers. These are growing, they are doubling their size every day, which is super impressive. And I'm wanting to show you something right now because I've just spotted it. They attract bugs, slugs. Yeah, can you see it? Yeah. So we need to get them off. And we're wanting to do everything as naturally as possible. I do use a spray, it's a chili spray that I've made, that I spray over everything, that does tend to keep them away, but we had a lot of rain last night, so I could have easily washed that off. So, flowers. What we can see, or before we go to flowers, we can see the tendrils here, right? And that's what they're called tendrils. And these wrap onto your stakes and hold the plant up. So they're super important. Then you have your runners of the plants, and that's what actually lets it, expand out and grow. So you can see that this is in a stake. I think it's like those tomato stakes, but it's gone up as high and then it started to fall over the side. So that could be going up easily another metre. So you need lots of room for them. Growing them vertically is awesome, as you've seen, but you've got to be able to look after the height of them. This is zoom out. Not the best angle, but you can see how they've grown up and then they've started to grow out, as well as going down at the front, which is pretty awesome. Okay, our flowers. See, we have the female has the fruit on it, so we can actually see this flower has died and it's been pollinated by the male, and the fruit is now starting to grow. This flower here is a male flower, and we'll see if we can get it up. Here's a better shot of one. Okay, a male flower. Yeah, looks a little bit like a male, but importantly, there is no, where are we? There is no fruit at the back. Try to get that a little bit neater. Let's have a little look at what's happened here. These are the tendrils, and they catch on to things. Now, what they ideally do, we can see this one here, it's caught up, it's holding onto the frame and keeping the plant balanced. We can see more doing that. They're holding onto the frame or holding onto themselves, different parts of the plant, to make sure that they're actually keeping it erect. So in this case, unlike a tomato plant that I have to tie up, these guys are tying themselves up onto the stakes, which is fantastic. And this, I guess, didn't have anywhere to go, so it's tied itself around itself. And effectively, that's going to be a problem. Now, we can see some actual cucumber fruit in here. This is only a few days since it was pollinated, and I hand pollinate because we are losing our native pollinators, so it's important to hand pollinate, which I will show you how to do. But that cucumber, that one there, it has actually doubled in size overnight, which is bloody awesome. All right. So, how do we identify the male and the female flowers? Well, two things. Generally what happens is the male flowers come out first in any cucumber plant, and the same with your, in fact, the same with your zucchini, pumpkins and stuff like that. You generally get the male plants, male flowers first, and then the females. And there are different things that you can do to store those male flowers, but if you've got a healthy system happening, like a healthy plant and a health in soil or in aquaponics, then you will get the male flowers, but you'll get the female flowers coming out pretty soon. Now I can see at least 6 flowers that we need, female flowers that we need to pollinate. So you see, as soon as they open, here's one here, it's nice and small, as soon as they open, we can actually start to pollinate them. And because, as I said, because they need lots and lots of water, more so than most other plants, lots of water and lots of fertilizer, doing it in my aquaponics system is just perfect. So this is the male flower. You can see by the fact that there's just no fruit there. And what we wanted to do was all the pollen that's on the inside, we wanted to get and touch on the inside of the female fruit flower. And we can tell that it's a female because we can actually see the fruit on the outside, which is the key difference. Now, some people will use a little paintbrush, some people will use cotton wool, some people use them, many different things. And it would be great if we had lots and lots of pollinators around to actually pollinate the plant, but they are dying off. That would be our bees. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to break this down. You should be able to see the pollen tips. So I don't want to be damaging the flower in any way. No, a little bit more. I find this is the easiest way of doing it, but as with life, there are many ways of doing it. And now we're just wanting to go in and touch that around the inside of the female parts. I know, flower sex with a bit of assistance. And that hopefully is now nicely pollinated. You can see that there is less pollen on that now. So I'll be going through and doing that with all of the cucumbers on here, and there are quite a few. Cucumbers can be both determinate or indeterminate, and that is in reference to their growing pattern. So determinate is if they grow, bloom, fruit, and then mature and die off very, very quickly. So you only sort of get like one lot of fruiting, which is determinate. Or indeterminate is when you're going to get fruiting throughout the whole season. So it's not going to be just a set time frame. So it's not just going to be all grow, bloom, fruit, and then die off. You're going to have it constantly doing it. So this particular cucumber plant is determinate. So it's now starting to die off. That I've had a good fruiting. I've had about 15, look at the size of that, 15 fruits. And now the plant itself is starting to die off. I've got a bit of, fungal issues, bit of bit of mildew, but the plant itself was actually starting to die off. And I haven't tried to do anything to deter the bugs or anything like that, because it's all doing its natural thing. But that's one thing about cucumbers, they can be either determinate or indeterminate. So when you're researching what you're going to be planting out, work out, do you just want one fruiting, or do you want to fruit throughout the whole season? The whole season you need indeterminate varieties, or if you just want it to be able to do it once. And I actually only wanted it to fruit once because it's getting too cold for the cucumbers now. They need warmth. So I only wanted the determinate variety. And you can see lots and lots of fruit still on here, but the plant itself is starting to die off.